Gayo, and welcome to this monthly overview. This is for January, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the different transits that are going to happen in the month of January, which traits are going to become active, and really what does that mean? What does that bring into your environment? What do you need to be aware of? And potentially what lessons and challenges or even ease and flow will you experience as these come into place. So when we're taking a look at the human design body graph, what you see is the person's design in the center, and then there's a wheel that goes around the outside, and the wheel shows all of the 64 different traits or the 64 hexagrams in the system. And looking at the arrow here, what happens is that these traits move in a counterclockwise direction. So when we enter into a new year every year, what happens is we start with trait 38, pretty much around New Year's Day, and then we move through the 54, the 61, the 60, the 41, and the 19. So we start the new year off with the fighter, and then we move into ambition. We go into inner truth, into acceptance, into the dreamer, and into the social needs. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you an outline of each of these traits as we move through the month. And in the show notes below, I have included some links to more in-depth videos that I've created previously, which you can then click on to get a little bit deeper insight into each one of these traits. So starting off with the fighter. The reason that the 38 becomes active right at the beginning of what we call the new year, i.e. the 1st of January, and just a side note here, in the human design system or in the B25 system, the new year doesn't actually happen until trait 41 becomes active, because this is the starting codon in the sequence. So when we are celebrating New Year on the 1st of January, this is actually a reflection time. This is a time for us, and it actually starts before that. It starts a little bit earlier when we enter into around Christmas time, where we have trait 58, which is joyous vitality. And this is a time to really reflect on what has brought vitality and health into your life and what hasn't. And when we move into trait 38, this is looking at what is worth fighting for. As we look back over the past 12 months, what has worked for us and what didn't? Where did we feel the sense of purpose, this connection to a deeper meaning of who we are, and what brought that sense of feeling purposeful into our lives? The 38 is the natural warrior. It's always ready to fight for its purpose, for meaning in life. And so this is actually part of my life work. My birthday is on the 2nd of January, and so the 38 is very close to my heart. There is definitely a sense of stubbornness that comes with the 38, but the stubbornness is necessary to overcome the odds, because life is filled with struggles. We are always going to meet struggle in life, but when those struggles really bring a sense of meaning and purpose, they feel worthwhile. They feel as if it's something that it's worth fighting for. And part of being the fighter, being the warrior, is helping others to stand up and fight for their meaning and purpose. And you are always in life going to have things and people that are going to oppose you. They are going to try to strip you down and pull you down. And the 38 really brings that energy to hold on to your individual integrity, even when you're opposed, even when people come and say things about you or try to pull you down, try to pull you away from your sense of purpose and meaning. The 38 is really able to hold on to, no, this is me and this is not me. And there is fear that comes up here, this fear of, am I going to live a life without being connected to meaning and purpose? So that fear is that you're going to live a life not feeling that value or feeling that life does not have any value. When you look at the 38, it is connected into the root, and the root is all about pressure and fuel. And this is that pressure or that fuel to discover the value in your own life. So as we're moving into the 1st of January, taking a look at, what is going to bring value and purpose into your life, what has worked in the past, and what you need to let go. Because there must be a reason for us to exist, for our purpose, something that elevates us beyond purely just struggling in life and just simply surviving. Then we moved into trait 54, which is ambition, this ambition to rise up the ladder. And the ambition is also connected to the root. So it's also a fuel, it's also a pressure. And, if we're going through this New Year process, part of this is looking back to see who has supported you in life. Because in order to rise up the social ladder, in order to rise up the corporate ladder, in order to rise up to different levels of material success, we can't do this in isolation. We actually can't run a business without other people in our lives. We can't have a family without other people in our lives. And so it's very much about support here. So who has supported you? Who has recognized your abilities and your skills and kind of given you that little push, that lift up in life to reach that next level of success? And what happens is, as you rise up the ladder, you're then able to support those who have supported you in the past. If we are more financially secure in our lives, we have more disposable income, and then we can in turn help those who, even if they just supported us purely as an ear to listen to us when we were struggling. And so this is that fuel for ambition, for humanity as an overall, to really transform its material direction. And when we can transform our material direction, we can transform our communities, we can transform our teams, we can transform the groups that we're in, and we can bring people along with us. So we transform lives as we are moving up the social ladder. And so this support idea of, if you take this from a selfish position and the ambition is purely selfish, and you disregard everybody around you, especially those who supported you, what it ends up happening is this rise up the social ladder or the corporate ladder will eventually crumble, or will lead to some level of feeling of, I didn't actually feel meaningful and purposeful in all of this. I just was purely ambition driven and selfish, and I didn't focus on those that supported me on my journey. Next, we move into truth, to inner truth. This particular trait is very much connected into the bigger mysteries of life, of meaning, of this real deep inner truth of who we are. And as we move into the 61, it's really about looking within and assessing what is your inner truth. What is your truth? And it's almost like the way that you're going to live your life over the next year is connected into standing true to your inner truth. And if you look back over the past 12 months, where have you tolerated things that you should not have? Where have you compromised on your inner truth? Where did you have creative endeavors that didn't really go anywhere? And where would you have liked to be more creative but were not? Because this pressure to know, to unravel the mysteries of the universe, and to inspire unique moments of absolute recognition is really what this trait is all about. And it's in the head center. Whenever anything's in the head center, it's always about pressure, and this mental pressure that comes in, this pressure to know, this pressure to unravel the mysteries, and this pressure to really have these unique recognitions and inspirations. The thing about anything that's unique in the human design system is that it operates in a pulse. So it's there, and then it's not there, and it's not there, and it's not there, and it's not there. And we have no control of when this is going to come through and when we're going to have access to these creative insights. So these creative insights have mutative potential because they bring something new in, a different way of seeing things, a different perspective on life. And we can feel this pressure to have an original idea, to have original concept come through. But when you can start to just allow these spontaneous moments of insight to come out, seemingly from nowhere, they can really lead to this profound inner knowing, and knowing that you're here to enjoy the mystery. So just allow yourself to be in the mystery with not needing to control when, if, and how these profound inner insights are going to come through for you. Next, we move into acceptance. And acceptance is about letting go. Part of being in this dualistic material Maya that we live in is that there are limitations. All of us have limitations in numerous areas of our lives and in the world. And in order to step into the new year, into a fresh new year, one needs to first let go and clear away the past. Let go of whatever you've been holding on to. And this trait 60 is in the root as well. And so there's a pressure here, a fuel to change or to transcend, more likely transcend the old, whatever forms and values and orders have been in place up until now, transcend those to a new order, a new way of doing things. And it's going to bring this pressure to creatively change the world. And with that can come a certain amount of restlessness. And when you look ahead at, how do we step into this new order, this new way of doing things, we may see limitation as roadblocks. But when the correct creative change comes through, because this happens in a pulse as well, so it's not there, and it's not there, and then all of a sudden it is, what we'll find is that we're able to transcend those limitations, because whatever's coming through is a new way, a new perspective. And so what we've previously thought as a limitation no longer feels as if it's a limitation for us. And part of the function of the limitations is for us to really align our energy to what needs to be changed. Where are the limitations showing up, and what needs to be accepted, and what can we transcend? So to really step into whatever's coming new, it might feel strange, but the acceptance of their limitations allows one to transcend them, which seems a little bit back to front. But when you let go of everything that you surrender to, you accept those limitations, is when you are really free, free to be who you are. And part of this BG5 journey and this human design journey is knowing what really is you and what isn't. And sometimes we're holding on to things that are not even us, and when we can let go of those, we can really connect into our true nature. And then towards the end of January, which is when the start codon comes in, the 41, the dreamer, and this is the hunger to experience something new. This is about the new start, and the dreamer dreams up countless possibilities of what it thinks is possible, where it would like to move to in the new year. And if you are planning on starting anything new in your business and in your life, all the steps that I've gone through today are a process of really aligning yourself to what to start with. You know, what is the correct thing for me to enter into to start with? And it's a great process to go through to really whittle down, because yes, we have this hunger to experience emotion and a desire to interact with others through feelings, and a need for this fantasy, this need to experience something new with somebody. But that desire, that kind of drive for these new possibilities and these new experiences can lead us into an unhealthy way of stepping into something, because we can get so desperate for this new thing that we don't actually kind of limit or contract down to the exact one that we need to step into at this time. And so another keynote for this particular trait is contraction. So yes, it's the dreamer, it's about all the possibilities, but which one of those is the one that is correct for you, is the right one? So while we are waiting to really narrow it down to contract to the one that is correct, it can be really confusing, and there can be this restlessness, you know, so many desires, so many wants of experiencing these emotions, and they not knowing which one is going to be fulfilled, not knowing whether any of them are going to come into being. So as you enter into these things into these experiences through your decision-making strategy, is where the promise of a new feeling awaits for you to discover, for you to really experience. And knowing that you can only experience one thing at a time. We might have the dream of so many possibilities, but when we experience things one at a time and we're fully in that thing without expectation, just in the experience for the experience, is when we get to really recognize its value. And so letting go of expectations is a crucial element for you here, so that you can just move freely through the experience and actually receive from that experience exactly what you're meant to receive. It's actually not about fulfilling your expectations, but rather experiencing and discovering what awaits you through that experience. And so when you can approach this new thing with this total openness, is when you get exactly what you need and deserve from that experience, rather than what you've mentally created or fixated on as being what you want to or what you expect to get out of this process. And so that kind of summarizes this this January process, you know, moving from the fighter to ambition, to inner truth, to acceptance, to the dreamer. Oh wait, there's one more: social needs. So let me quickly do this one. So once you've focused on that dream, so the dreamer, which is towards the end of January, we have one more that still falls within the January timeframe, and that is trait 19, which is social needs, a secure environment and the necessary resources. So when we're thinking about humanity and beings, there are some fundamental needs for territory. To have a secure environment that has all the necessary and essential resources. So we're going to feel this constant pressure to really kind of stamp our ground. You know, what is our territory? What are the resources that we need? And what is important in our life? So when you speak to somebody who has trait 19, they're somebody who likes to have their refrigerator full so that they feel as if, you know, all their resources are in there, and they like to have savings in their bank account because that makes them feel a little bit more secure. And so these resources that we're talking about, it's basic access to things like food and shelter and clothing, but there's more. It's also about your need for spiritual connection, a connection to spirit. So in order to get the territory and to get all these basic resources in place, we need to bond with others in very specific ways. And it's about those successful interactions and engagements with other people, and how you support one another in this kind of communal group. Because when we have enough to eat and we have a place to live, one gets to experience what a healthy community can be like, with us all supporting and making a contribution to the bigger whole. And so, if we go back to tracking that whole process that I was talking about, as we go through January, the 58, which comes in December, is really connecting into what is vital in your life. The 5 is about, what has brought meaning and purpose into your life. Ambition is about who has supported you on your journey and who have you supported. Then inner truth is about really establishing what is your inner truth and how have you held on to that over the past 12 months and where have you compromised or let that go. Acceptance is about what are the current limitations in the environment and in the world around you, and how can you surrender to and accept those. And when that new, mutative, creative, innovative insight comes through, you can then move from the old to the new. And remember, whenever we move from the old to the new, there can always be this chaos as we let go of the old and we move into the new. And then the dreamer, what is possible for you in this year? What are your dreams? What are your fantasies? What do you want to experience? But then really whittling that down, contracting that down into that one experience, that one thing that you get to, without expectation, just experience and receive whatever it is that experience has to give to you. And then once we've done that, we can start claiming our territory and our resources and creating that support in our community, having our basic needs met so that we can work with spirit and access the deeper meanings of life. So that brings January's overview to a close. If you are wanting to dive deeper into understanding how these individual traits relate to you specifically, or how they work in a business context or a team context, I do various sessions where we can really look at your unique design. How do you get to live the life you deserve? How do you move from just surviving to thriving on the material plane? And how do you step up as a leader of your team, in your industry, and really anchor into your unique and specific leadership style? And how do you guide, coach, and mentor your team to deeper levels of satisfaction and success in this life? Thank you so much for watching. Over the next 12 months, I will be producing a monthly review. So if you would like to be updated of when that gets released, please hit the subscribe button and you will receive the notifications when these videos come out. Until the next one, I hope that you have an awesome year and you get to really anchor into what is meaningful and purposeful for you and live the life that you deserve. My name's Linda Gaio. Bye for now.